just about set for the second half of this AFC divisional playoff game. The Raiders and the Browns in the first half, each with 6 first downs. The Raiders culminating a 64-yard drive with a 1-yard touchdown run by Mark Van Egan, and the subsequent extra point by Chris Barr have taken the lead 7-6 in the game.
Don, the kicking game has been a big factor. So far, the Browns have had much better field position than the Raiders. The Raiders put together one good drive throughout the entire first half. It happened late. Other than that, they were totally nullified. And I think when you look at the passing stats, they give you an indication of the conditions that exist. Although they don't get much reception-wise, they've got to go upstairs because nobody can run one another off at the line of scrimmage. Plunkett hit 7 for 18. Brian Sipe perhaps had his worst statistical day of the year, 4 for 18. However, I don't think it'll have any effect on what he's going to do in the second half. The receivers are going to have to find a way to come up with the ball when it's thrown.
Browns are back out on the playing field, and so the 80,000 file back in. There is no relief from the cold. An amazing turnout considering the weather conditions. That wind chill factor announced at 37 below zero. Look at these people.
People talk about the fact that, well, maybe they're used to it in Cleveland. Nobody's used to 37 below. That's when everyone stays in and looks at the snowfall on the ground. And no matter what sort of conditions do exist, these people are going to come out and watch their Browns win from their viewpoint. And if they have to tolerate the cold, the players can do it, so they're going to have a go at it also.
It was a long first half, John.
And it's going to be a longer second half. When you put the ball up as much as they do, and there are as many incompletions thrown as there have been and will be in the second half, it tends to lengthen the time of the game. These fellows will probably be out there upwards of 3.5 to 4 hours. I don't see anybody. I just don't see. It looks as if the ground is a little bit better than it was at the start of the game. I'm not sure that's so, but in the middle of the field, if they can find any footing at all, you'll see the ball start to go in the middle of it.
Well, the Raiders got their stuff together. They didn't run at all with any success early in the game, and then they started to move out better. And Plunkett started to throw some big strikes. He had a disastrous first half, but as he's done all season long, he's rallied the Raiders back.
Don, what you see, you know, we talk about the footing of the receivers. We talk about a lot of things. What isn't automatic anymore in these conditions is the snap between quarterback and center. What isn't automatic is the guard and the tackle being able to coordinate some movement-wise, and the defense can just stand you straight up. You can't do anything with their footing. If your feet don't work and don't get under you and you don't have any momentum with them, then you just can't move anywhere. That's
one guy, John, who's enjoying this like a day at the beach, though, is Lester Hayes. How come he doesn't have any problem?
That's a question. I'll tell you what, and I don't have an answer. I do know this. He's been in a position on both interceptions where he's been back waiting on the ball. He is wearing gloves, but everybody's wearing gloves. He's the only man in the game outside of one catch by Chandler who's caught the ball with his arms at the proper extension at the height of its arc. And primarily the receivers have tried to catch the ball in their body. It's bounced off it like a brick wall. So I don't have an answer for that. The man's having a year that maybe he doesn't know it's cold down there.
Might not. Lester Hayes with a couple of more interceptions today. He had 2 last week. 17 for the year. The Cleveland Browns and the Oakland Raiders both were long shots the way this season started out. Both lost 3 of their first 5 games and then got it together and rallied back. And now the Raiders coming in with a record of 12-5 on the year, the wild card team from the AFC West. The winner of this game will of course go to San Diego to play the Chargers next Sunday. 4:30 start time on NBC, the American Conference title game.
You know, I really thought that the Browns had a big edge coming into the ball game when the conditions were the way they were. Number one, personality-wise, Oakland likes to attack the defense. You can't do that today. Number two, Brian Sipe has 5 receivers who have caught 50 or more balls. He's thrown the ball around the infield all year long. He's been the kind of fellow that can take advantage of a weakness. However, because Oakland has played man-to-man defense, it has necessitated him going down the field one-on-one, trying to get a receiver free. So far, he's been unable to do so. But if they play the same defense, you can bet he's just going to keep peppering.
Well, we're going to find out right now because the Browns are out and so are the Oakland Raiders. We're ready now for the opening kickoff of the third quarter. See the numbers of the quarterbacks. Brian Sipe only 4 of 18. This is 61% plus thrower throughout the regular season. They gave him some extra time in the locker room at halftime because of the cold weather.
I'm not sure that's good. Do you get warm in 15 minutes?
From this you don't. Charles White and Dino Hall will be kickoff return men now for the Cleveland Browns. Chris Barr hit that very big extra point after Van Egen's 1-yard touchdown plunge to give the Raiders the 1-point lead. Has the ball teed up, ready to kick it off now to open the third quarter. Barr's into it, and here is Charles White at the 20, 25, and all the way out to the 39-yard line. There's Charles White, the 1979 Heisman Trophy winner from Southern California. Todd Christensen made the stop for the Oakland Raiders. 14:52 left to play in the third quarter now, as we're ready to go at the first play from scrimmage. Oakland Raiders across their defensive front have John Matuzak at one end. Reggie Kinlaw is the middle guard. Dave Browning the right end. Hendricks, Millen, Nelson, and Rod Martin back to line. Lester Hayes and Dwayne Osteen at the corners. Mike Davis and Burgess Owens are the safeties. Brian Sipe setting up to throw on first down. Takes a look. Guns the ball down low. Did he get the ball?
I think it was a one bouncer. They may give it to him, but it looked like a one bouncer from here.
Ozzie Newsome is being credited with the reception, and the Raiders.
That's a good break. You see Ozzie Newsome, who they've been trying to get to in the first half without any success, now gets in between the linebackers. You see the problem he's having coming into his pattern. Did that hit the ground or did it hit his hands? We know it bounced into his chest, but he might have had his hands underneath. 1st and 10.
Mike Pruitt gets the call, takes it down to the 47-yard line.
All right, we've noticed that Brian Sipes had excellent time throwing the ball, but when they want to run the ball, the defense has all the best of it. John Matuzak's been in there plugging up the holes all the way. You can see they both come to a standstill. When neither guy gets good footing, everybody comes together, looks like a jump center, and the back runs into the pile.
Talking to Earl Leggett, the defensive line coach of the Raiders, great player of the Chicago Bears, he said Matuzak's like one of the old Bears, like George Halas liked him, real big and plenty mean.
He's found a home in Oakland.
He's having a Pro Bowl year. John Matuzak came as a free agent, even though he was the #1 player drafted in the NFL. Running with the ball is Calvin Hill, and Calvin's not done yet as he goes down the sideline and takes it inside the 30-yard line. They mark him out of bounds at the 28.
This is just super offensive surge. We mentioned that the offensive linemen don't really get any surge. You can see John Matuzak, number 72. Willie Jones, he's having a little problem. And watch Hill. Now, it looks like he's free right here, but he can't keep his footing well enough to... There's nobody between himself and the goal line, but he can't keep his balance.
A slick field, but Calvin Hill treads over it for 18 yards and a Cleveland Brown first down to the 28-yard line of Oakland. Logan wide left. Rucker wide right. Calvin Hill comes out of the backfield. Brian Sipe takes a look and runs with the ball, and Brian Sipe comes inside the 25-yard line. Down to the 24. Matuzak at 6'8", 280 fell on him.
Don't think it doesn't smart. That's the third time that Sipe has elected to go forward. You'll notice when he does start running, he doesn't run sideways. When he steps up and when he goes back to throw, he'll step up in the pocket. He will not try to get his offensive tackles to let anybody inside.
Personal foul, number 72 on a defense, grabbing the face mask. First down.
Well, maybe we can see it. You see that paw come around the end.
So now the Browns take the ball down to the 20-yard line.
Not a flagrant violation, therefore only 5 yards.
It can be up to 15 yards, depending on the severity of the infraction and the opinion of the official. Face mask. It could be 5, 10, or 15. John pointed out that one was 5. And now the Browns start to mount a challenge in the third quarter on their first possession. Brian Sipe takes a look. Throws. He's got Ozzie Newsome. And Ozzie Newsome takes the ball inside the 15-yard line and down to the 13.
Oakland has continued to play a man-to-man defense. Now when you get inside the 20-yard line, it almost precludes them from playing any type of zone. We've seen Cleveland continue to do what they tried to do in the first half unsuccessfully. Come to Ozzie Newsome, throw the ball off to Calvin Hill. Calvin Hill, by the way, only carried the ball once in the entire National Football League season. He's carried the ball 3 or 4 times today.
Second down and 4 for the Cleveland Browns. 13-yard line of Oakland. Pruitt, quick hitter. Didn't get much. Maybe a yard. That was all. Reggie Kinlaw, one of the quickest middle guards in pro football. Only 240 pounds, but he's so tough to block. One of the 42 Oklahoma players in the NFL.
2nd and 5 is a natural run-pass situation under normal conditions. Today, my pick is it's a throw-in situation.
That is an interesting point, John. The strategy's completely changed. Defenses looking for a pass in a particular area. Everything goes out the window. Now you're not quite sure what anybody's going to do on offense, particularly an innovative quarterback like Brian Sipe. 3rd down and 3 now. 3rd and 3 for the Browns. Big down. Sipe is looking. Throwing to Logan. And Dwayne Osteen is right with them. They both head up into a snowbank.
Good footing. The defense is all at the worst of it. Bad footing. One-on-one. Osteen and Logan. It looks for a sure thing. It's a perfect setup for a touchdown throw. Logan could not get his footing, could not come out of his pattern, could not get close to the ball.
So now it's 4th down, and Don Cockcroft will try again. You'll recall in the first half he missed 2 field goal attempts and an extra point. Paul McDonald will hold.
See if he can get this one up.
He's got it up. Don Cockcroft drills it down the middle, and the Cleveland Browns take the lead. It's 9-7 Cleveland with 11:29 left to play in the 3rd quarter. So they've got something to cheer about once again in Cleveland, and the Browns will be kicking it off when we come back.
Hey, see y'all down the road, Jack. If you're going to move your family, you can save a lot of money by renting a truck. Moving yourself, and you might as well rent a real truck. A Ryder. Ryder isn't famous for renting cars, beep, beep, little trailers. Ryder's famous for trucks. Pro drivers will tell you that.
Okay, King of the Road. Just hold the lamp.
We're back and set to go as Cockcroft hit the field goal that gave the Cleveland Browns a 9-7 lead with 11:29 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Sam Ratigliano and his Browns, champions of the AFC Central and in the playoffs for the first time since 1972. Cockcroft hits the ball downfield, hits it well. It's going to take a Cleveland hop. It is picked up by Arthur Whittington at the 20, 25, and the 30, and Arthur Whittington busts it right up the middle and takes the ball out to the 40.
Don, I'll tell you what, the kicking game is such an instrumental part in both these clubs winning or losing. You'll notice the kicking game is really at a standstill. The ball is rock hard. They can't get it more than 35, 40 yards downfield. When they do, it gives the return team a chance to set things up. Both teams brought the kickoffs out to the 40-yard line. That gives their opportunity. Look at this guy. Maybe he doesn't know where he is. Not cold now, baby, but try it in the morning.
That's unbelievable. One of those at every ball game, Norton. Right up the middle, first down. The Raiders go to the run. Van Egan takes it across the 40-yard line out to the 43. Henry Bradley, the middle guard, made the knockdown. Marshall Harris, Henry Bradley, Lyle Alzado, the defensive front men for Cleveland. Charlie Hall, Robert L. Jackson, Dick Ambrose, and Clay Matthews. Some of the Browns get to the heated benches.
Here's a man that doesn't very often come out of a football game. He started every ball game he's played for the Raiders. Gene Upshaw is coming off with a little bit of injury. That's a big segment in their offensive line.
205 straight games over 13 years. He's never missed a preseason game, a regular season game.
He'll be back.
Or a postseason game. He's the leader of the Oakland Raiders. He delivers the clubhouse speech before they take the playing field. Running with the ball is Van Egan, but the Cleveland linebacker pin him in, and Dick Ambrose makes the knockdown.
Robert L. Jackson out there trying to stay warm, pump up his defense. Dick Ambrose, we mentioned earlier, is the man that's generally in the right hole at the right time when you're running a draw play. This is a draw all the way. He never bites a lick, gets on Van Egan before he can get to the line of scrimmage. 3rd down and 6. Upshaw's back.
Didn't take long. One play, and Gene Upshaw is back in the lineup for the Oakland Raiders. Plunkett throws in the flat. Oh, no, Clarence Scott who almost intercepted the ball. Fourth down now comes up for Oakland. The Cleveland Browns got that publisher, and then Dino Hall goes back for the Browns.
Very important segment of plays, Don, because you'll recall just before the half, the Raiders ran it right down the field with the wind. They are now going against the wind. It's a little bit more difficult to operate. They couldn't come up with much.
Ray Guy standing back at his 30, and Dino Hall is back at the 11-yard line of Cleveland.
His concern is not how far he kicks it, but that he catches it.
They got to get first things first. He catches it, and he kicks it well. A high spiral. Dino Hall looks up in the sun, takes the ball, and heads upfield. Here's the blockers on the wall. Dino Hall rips it all the way down to the 36-yard line. Joe Campbell makes the stop for Oakland. 38-yard punt, a 16-yard return by Dino Hall. So the clock has stopped with 9:59 left to play in the third quarter, and the Browns in the lead 9-7. They like all this in Cleveland, and with good reason, as the Browns are in the lead 9-7. With a long way to go, 9:59 left to play in the game. The Oakland Raiders come in with a defense that plays very well against the run with those huge linebackers like Hendricks and Millett. And on long yardage, they'll go to 4 down linemen and 5 defensive backs. Oakland people will tell you this is the best Raider defense they've ever had. Ryan Sipe looks into that defense now and throws over it, going for Rucker, and he is struck. Wayne Osteen gets him as he goes out of bounds.
Again, the Raiders continue to play that man-to-man defense. He's trying to find an open receiver. The Raiders have not changed, and I don't think they have any reason to. They've been effective making Sipe throw the ball down the field. You see, he gets a one-on-one situation. Rucker on Osteen. The ball didn't get there.
Greg Pruitt now goes in the offensive backfield of Cleveland. Calvin Hill comes out.
You know, Calvin Hill may not be accustomed to playing quite as much as he's played today, and they're going to have to give him periodic rest, which they did on this occasion.
Second down and 10 now coming up for the Browns from their 35. Again, Sipe gets time, lost it downfield to Greg Pruitt. He catches the ball. Greg Pruitt has the ball all the way down to the 39-yard line of Oakland. Rod Martin made the tackle, but Pruitt cruised right into the secondary, took the ball, and goes down for a gain of 26 yards.
All right, he got by the linebackers. Once you get by those fellas, they're trying to catch up with you. They're in an excellent position to do something, but when the ball's in the air, they're trying to get their balance. Pruitt is trying to get the ball. Looks like it's a very close play, but Pruitt had it all the way.
All the way. Greg Pruitt. He's built like a little atlas. He's a big man. 5'8", 195 pounds is what he really is. First and 10. Sipe swings it out to Calvin Hill. Calvin Hill did well to get back to the line of scrimmage, but the Raider linebackers had it hemmed in.
You notice he realized he had gone as far as he could. It was an outlet pass. None of the linebackers fell down, so he did, because contact can create fumbles right now. Ball possession is very important.
Got to hold on to the ball, and they've done it remarkably well considering the playing conditions with 8:37 left to go in the third quarter. The Cleveland Browns behind at the half 7-6 have taken the lead 9-7 on Cockcross field goal. Second down and 10 now for the Browns. Side pass gave Logan open, and Logan's down to the 24-yard line. Wayne Osteen makes the tackle, but the Browns drive on.
Okay, that's the strategy. Keep firing that ball down the field. They're still in a man-to-man defense. Very tough on the cornerbacks. Sipe figures we're going to find one of you fellas open, 1 out of 3 downs, and when you do, I'll hit him. That's the way it's been going in the second half. See, he's getting no pass rush. It allows these wide receivers to get down the field, get into their routes. Just give them a crack.
Browns connecting much better now with their passing game. Sipe is getting the time, and the receivers are getting open. Here's Sipe throwing to the end zone. Reggie Rucker.
Sipe's trying to get a call down. Sipe was trying to get a call. He did. When he threw the ball, he thought there was interference. He thought there was contact about 9-10 yards down the field. You know, we see a lot more completions right now than we did early in the ball game, Don, and primarily because even though the conditions haven't improved, the receivers are getting more accustomed to them. And when you do get accustomed to them, you know how fast you can run your patterns, you know how long it's going to take you to come out of them, and you know that ball's going to be like a brick. It's not optimum to be catching a brick, but if you know how heavy it is, at least you've got a better chance.
Cleveland Browns have allowed only 23 sacks of Brian Sipe all season long. They said the primary game plan was we had to protect him because it's going to take time for the receivers to get open against the bump and run defense of the Raiders. Swing pass to Greg Pruitt, and Pruitt's inside the 20. Well short of a first down. On a 2nd and 10 play, he got about 5.
You know what's helped right now is Sipe has pretty good footing. The rest of the fellas are having a little trouble. As a result, he's getting good time. He's getting a lot of momentum on his ball. Put it out there in the flat to Greg Pruitt. Mike Davis is in a very difficult assignment. He's got somebody one-on-one all day long. Your strong safeties are generally the fellas that are real good forcemen and good tacklers, and coverage is secondary.
Over 80,000 packing Cleveland Stadium as the Browns now come up 3rd down and 5. They lead the game 9-7. The blitz. Browning was coming on the run, and Brian Sipe got rid of it.
Boy, that was a great play by Rod Martin. That was a little cooler play. They were waiting for the proper situation. Sipe was going to roll left. Browning forced him into making a move before he wanted to, and Rod Martin was all over Calvin Hill down the right sideline.
Don Cockcroft finally connected the last time he tried a field goal. It was a 30-yarder. Now he'll be hitting one from about 36 yards away.
This is a long one.
It's a real long one in these conditions. That is very true. The sun is shining brightly now at one end of the field, the open end.
Fake.
I think McDonald might have had a problem holding the ball.
That's why he tried to do what he did with it.
Now the Raiders will take it over at their 28-yard line.
Good break for Oakland. Look, you can see he never got a good handle on the ball. Cockcroft comes up late. This is not a design play. This is an automatic. It's like an audible. When you see something like this happen, it was not a good hand back. You just try to make the best out of a bad situation. At home, someone might think, this is no time for a fake field goal, but you can see McDonald trying to get control of the ball against his leg. It was a relatively bad snap. He didn't get full control of it. This is an audible that happens whenever things go bad. You can see Cockcroft tried to help out where he could. All to no avail. Raiders 1st and 10 on their own 28.
If he kept it there and Cockcroft kicked it, it would have been blocked then and probably knocked way back downfield.
You bet.
On 1st down and 10, Plunkett takes a look and he throws and kicks. The connection out to the 33-yard line.
Cliff Branch, first reception of the day, Don. They've been double teaming him. That time he cut underneath. That's the kind of pattern when your wide receivers do get balls. That's the kind of patterns I think they ought to run more of. Clean people out, run your wide receivers back underneath, see if you can't get them on the dead run.
Very rare that a field goal or placement holder, John, wears gloves, but Paul McDonald's doing it today.
You got it.
Second down and 6 now for the Oakland Raiders. They're down in this game 9-7. They go to the run and there's nothing there. Kenny King worked his way into that big defensive run of the Browns, but there was nothing for him there. And so with 5:38 to play on the clock running in the 3rd quarter, the Raiders rehuddle. 3rd down coming up, 3rd and 4.
You know what's impressive to me is the way that the communication between quarterback and running back has not produced more fumbles than it has. Quarterbacks seem to have pretty good hold of the ball. Not predictable.
3rd down and 4 for the Raiders. Plunkett looking long. Throws hard, makes the connection, but Raymond Chester coming back at the football. Might have not gotten the 1st down yardage. He had it where he caught it, but he came back.
This one depends on the spot. They did not give it to him where he caught the ball. They gave it to him where they deemed his forward progress stopped. He was trying to get away from a linebacker cutting underneath. Charlie Hall had none of it, brought him down after about a 3-yard gain. And it looks like we've got another penalty, too.
There is a penalty down to where the offensive backfield of the Raiders aligned, and the ball is set back to the 24. Here's Ben Bright.
Number 63.
Got Upshaw holding, the left guard. Art Shell and Gene Upshaw are going against a longtime adversary when he was with Denver, Lyle Alzado.
Don, I agree with the call. It would have been 4th down and 1 yard to go. They'd rather have it 3rd down and 14. Forces Oakland to throw the ball if they're trying to get a 1st down. Anything good could happen for either side.
3rd down and 15. Plunkett throwing long. Bob Chandler goes for the ball, but there's too much on it. And the Raiders will have to punt it back to Cleveland. Ron Bolton and Clarence Scott were on the coverage. But Chandler had room had the ball come down in his area.
Yeah, that's easy to say, but from where Plunkett was throwing it, he really didn't have him as open as it appeared he was. When Chandler comes out of his pattern, it looks like he could have put the ball over the top and hit him, but Ron Bolton, number 28, is standing right in front of him where there was very little room to throw it.
Ron Bolton has 2 interceptions today already, 1 for a touchdown. Cleveland's only touchdown of the game. He ran it back some 42 yards. Dino Hall is back now for punt return for Cleveland.
You'll notice everyone has a little different combination. Guys wearing 1 glove on, 1 glove off.
Hits the ball downfield. Dino Hall has been a sure-handed guy catching these punts. Turns to the outside. He's been a good returner. Dino Hall's in open field for a moment. He shot across midfield and came inside the 45-yard line of Oakland, down to the 44.
Ray Guy kept that one from going all the way, pal.
That's right. He came in and got him himself.
Well, you can see as it opens up how all the special team fellas are having so much trouble with their footing that if you get a wall formed, the guy's liable to go on forever. Guy makes the final play. They've got the ball with good field position.
This bud's for everyone who wraps it, stacks it, and...
Stadium. The Oakland Raiders trailing the Cleveland Browns 9-7. 4:45 left to play in the 3rd quarter. As wide to the left comes Dave Logan, and wide to the right goes Reggie Rucker for Cleveland. The Browns with a 2-point lead. 4:45 to play 3rd quarter. 1st down for Cleveland. Brian Sipe throws over the middle. He's got Dave Logan open, and Logan has the ball inside the 25-yard line and down to the 23.
And you can just see it at the line of scrimmage sometimes. When Sipe was calling an audible, he called it because he was one-on-one with Osteen again. He heard Sipe coming to the audible. He was leaning over, specifically interested in hearing what he was saying. It's a pattern one-on-one. He's got all the time in the world to develop his pattern. When he does so, Sipe throws it well. I mean, both those cornerbacks are under an awful lot of pressure.
22-yard gain on the play.
We mentioned how much time they have. You take a look at this offensive line. They're holding their ground. DeLeon's trying to look for somebody to help out with.
Joe D blocking well. Back to live action now. Sipe time again. Now it ends. And Sipe doing very well to get rid of the ball before they got him.
You bet. I'll tell you why it wasn't called intentional grounding. It's because the official, Ben Dreif, was trying to protect Brian Sipe. He saw Matusik had a hold of him. He wanted to see if anything went on. So he really didn't see the ball go down the field. Since he didn't see it, you don't call it.
There's the defensive coordinator for Cleveland, Marty Schottenheimer. Brian Sipe is 31 years old, 6'1", 195 pounds, from San Diego State.
Here come the pass rushers. Cedric Hardman, Willie Jones.
Yep, the pass rushers are in for Oakland. Cedric Hardman, number 86, set to the right. Willie Jones, set to the left. 2nd down and 10 for the Cleveland Browns. See if he goes to the draw play. Sipe throws. Almost intercepted.
Look out.
Penalty markers come in. 3 of them.
Osteen knew he was in a problem. He was trying to get over to Logan before the ball got there. He didn't know that Sipe was having a problem. He was trying to catch up with his man. The ball never got in the area, but he was all over the top of Logan.
It'll give the Browns a 1st and goal just inside their 10-yard line.
You know what's so tough from an Oakland standpoint is they've hit opposing quarterbacks something like 54 or 55 times throughout the year. And they have with a great pass rush that has come right up the middle, which allows those 2 outside pass rushers to get to the quarterback. Well, today, the 2 fellas up the middle, Matusik, Kinlaw, Browning, these fellas can't get enough penetration to force Sipe into a problem.
Offside, decline a penalty. Also, defense pass interference accepted.
only way he can. He knows he's in a hurry-up situation, trying to get to the ball. That's interference, folks.
That was well illustrated on the replay. Our producer today for NBC, George Finkel, our director, Ken Fouts, as the Cleveland Browns have the ball first and goal. 10-yard line. Browns leading 9-7. Here's Greg Pruitt to the outside. He eluded Ken Hendricks, then went out of bounds at about the 8.
He eluded Hendricks, Donnie, but say they made the play because Hendricks forced him wide.
Mike Davis finally ran him out. Third quarter clock. 3:40 to play in it. Oakland led at halftime 7-6.
This is a big drive as far as Cleveland's concerned. They've had the best of it throughout the ball game except for one drive that Oakland put together. If they don't score here, they've still kept Oakland within a touchdown. Now, momentum has a way of shifting throughout the course of an afternoon. They've got the wind at their backs right now. They've got to capitalize.
Right now they have it second and goal at the 8-yard line, almost the 7.
Rutgers man-to-man again out here on the corner. Fumble.
A fumble it was, and Brian Sipe, he'll dive into that buzzsaw every time looking for the loose ball. Might have come back up with it. If he didn't, Joe DeLamielleure did.
I think Sipe did get it because he had pretty good footing. When he lost it, you'll see he just got the ball touched. It looked like Hendricks was going backwards, touched him with his long arm. Sipe did a great job to get to it along with DeLamielleure. A lot of contact in that area.
A lot of those deals with a separated shoulder very easily. There's the array of footwear. They've been trying everything possible on a frozen field here in Cleveland. Whatever they're working with now, it's going a lot better because people are running their routes well. And Brian Sipe and the Cleveland Browns now have a third down and goal from the 12-yard line. Sipe looks, he throws. Logan had it and lost it. Double team coverage on Dave Logan. Burgess Owen, the free safety, and Dwayne Osteen.
Burgess Owens has had his work full, too. He's trying to cover the middle. When you're a free safety without any footing, we see Logan beats Osteen inside, okay? Osteen's trying to recover. That's Burgess Owens who's slipping and sliding all over in the end zone. That could have been a touchdown except for pretty good recovery.
That's ice down at that end. And that's what they fell on, and hard.
We've had two players go into the locker room with concussions because of the fall when they hit the ground. It looks like that's what happened to Osteen on that play.
Don Cockcroft. See what he was like in the regular season. No problem for the most part between 30 and 39 yards, but there's been one today. He does have a 30-yarder to his credit. It's been the difference in this game as the Cleveland Browns have come from behind, and they lead it 9-7. And the winner of this game, of course, will go to San Diego next Sunday to play the San Diego Chargers in the American Football Conference Championship game. Start time on NBC is at 4:30 with NFL 80. Dwayne Osteen goes off the playing field. The Raider pass secondary really improved when Dwayne Osteen took the starter job from Monty Jackson. Osteen is a third-year player from San Jose State. Cockcroft setting up for another 30-yard try. You recall the last attempt, the hold didn't work. Paul McDonald had a run with the ball. Got it up. Got it through. And the Browns extend their lead to 12-7.
Very good hold, I'll tell you. We saw McDonald come in with two gloves. Some are playing with one. He gets total control of the ball. We'd say, hey, anybody can suck it up and play without gloves. If you're only in once in a while, he feels he's got a better edge wearing them. It went through 12-7.
Where in the world are we? Now, what's this place?
Welcome to the last place on earth.
Look at all this.
Dear?
Like my boutique? Cute.
Yeah, we just have traveler's checks.
Citicorp?
Yes.
Love them.
Imagine Citicorp travelers checks are even accepted in the last place on earth.
Our lucky day.
Travel the world with us, Citicorp Traveler's Checks.
When high interest rates keep America from buying the fuel-efficient cars it needs, it's time to do something about it. Starting now, when you buy a new U.S.-built 81 Chrysler, Plymouth, or Dodge passenger car on credit, you can deduct 7% from the sticker price, including options, because we think the interest rates are 7% too high. That number will move up or down depending on a significant change in the prime interest rate. Make your best deal, then get $380 to $1,200 direct from Chrysler. We'll help you buy the car you want.
Sam Ratigliano's Cleveland Browns have opened up a 12-7 lead after they trailed by a point at the half, 7-6. We have a long way to go, though. 2:40 left to play in the third quarter. As the Cleveland Browns had the ball teed up, Don Cockcroft now with 2 30-yard field goals in this game. And back deep to receive his kickoff. Keith Moody and Arthur Whittington.
And not too deep.
No,
I'll tell you. They've been getting that ball out to the 40, and that's when things haven't broken. If they break, they could go a long way.
A high spinning kick, not too deep. Keith Moody to the 25-yard line, to the 30, and Keith Moody comes out to the 34-yard line. There the Raiders will go on offense, 1st and 10. McDonald Oden came down to make the play in special teams for Cleveland.
Let's keep in mind, Don, the Browns have really controlled the football offensively as far as this game's gone. It's still leaving the Raiders within 5 points. In 3 minutes, little less than 3 minutes, as we're getting down to the end of the third quarter, they reverse ends, and the wind is going with the offense.
Less than 2,000 no-shows at today's game. Jim Plunkett takes a look, throws, and it's almost taken in by Cliff Branch coming back at the ball, but he lost it. Branch was running the deep patterns earlier. Now he's been going out 20 yards a lot of times and coming back at the ball.
Sure, he ran deep, and then he came back at the ball, Don, but it's so hard to run that type of pattern. You see Ambrose is getting way back in the area. Branch is trying to come all the way back to make a fine reception for an 8-yard gain. But remember, when Ambrose is that deep, you just lay it off to a back, he can pick up the same yardage.
Jim Plunkett has thrown 22 times, has completed 8 for 75 yards. And intercepted twice, and he fumbled once, dropping the pass. Kenny King was way downfield for the Oakland Raiders. Clinton Burrell was the closest to the ball when it came in on the 1 hop. And so the third quarter clock now is stopped with 2:14 to play. And the Browns in the lead 12-7. Last time they played last December of 79, a year ago December. Oakland won that game 19-14. Tom Flores has 2 Super Bowl rings. He got one as a backup quarterback with Kansas City in Super Bowl IV, and also an assistant coach with the Raiders when they won it in '76.
And it may not be this year, but down the line he'll have one in Oakland.
3rd down and 10 now for Plunkett and the Raiders. Big rush. Plunkett stands in, moves out of the pocket. He didn't like to run with 3 knee operations behind him, but he did well. Got ahead across the 40-yard line, but was short of a 1st down by about 3. Charlie Hall ran him out.
Okay, Jim Plunkett is excellent moving around back in the pocket. I think that's what he does about as well as anybody. When he is in back here, he's trying to find a little bit of time so that he can fire the ball down the field. Now he comes up, he makes his move out to the side. When he stutters here, he's given no edge to himself. He had a chance to pick it up. He comes out about a yard short, and Oakland's going to punt it on 4th down.
Dino Hall has done a big job running the ball back. Jim Plunkett, the College Player of the Year in 1970 when he won the Heisman Trophy, the Maxwell Award, quarterback Stanford to the upset of Ohio State in the Rose Bowl, was the #1 player drafted in the league by New England, and threw 19 touchdown passes as a rookie and a series of injuries and a series of new teams after the trade to San Francisco. Ray Guy steps into the ball and hits it hard. Dino Hall loses the handle, picks it up, and gets to the 23. Dino Hall has been a very effective Cleveland player today, returning punts. Now the Browns come out with 1:53 to play in the third quarter. Ty Babylonia and Randy Gardner compete again. They'll be joined by Peggy Fleming, Linda Fradiani, and Dorothy Hamill in the first World Professional Figure Skating Championship, starting Saturday, January 18th on NBC Sports World. Plus the hilarious antics and basketball wizardry of Meadowlark Lemon and the Bucketeers, all on the season premiere of NBC Sports World, January 18th. That's a heated bench. These were hauled in from Philadelphia. The Eagles were using them yesterday.
Still not warm enough.
No empty spaces on that hot bench, though, either side. Those seats are at a premium. Handoff goes up the middle. Ball taken to the 26-yard line by Mike Pruitt. And a marker is down. There's been very few of those, really, though, John.
Well, that was obvious. That was motion on the ball carrier. He got started just a little bit before the snap of the ball. I'm amazed that there have been as few penalties as there have been called, Don, because you can do anything wrong and not even know why out here today.
Mike Pruitt caught standing on start and rocket on go. With 1:44 left to play in the third quarter, a penalty is assessed against the Cleveland Browns. The ball is set back to the 21-yard line. The Browns were the most penalized team in the NFL. Huh?
43 on the offense.
That is the first penalty of this day on Cleveland, though. Greg Pruitt and Mike Pruitt are the offensive backs for Cleveland. There you go, John.
It's awful nice. I think Sipe's the guy.
Sipe has been the guy this year and this day so far for Cleveland. Browns leading the game 9-7. Greg Pruitt turns the corner, gets out of bounds across the 25-yard line. 12-7 for that last 30-yard field goal. 1:39 left to play. Browns down at the half, 7-6. They initially took the lead 6-0 on a 42-yard interception return by Ron Bolton. And then the Raiders drove 64 yards. Van Egan on the payoff end, and the extra point was good, 7-6. And then the Cleveland Browns and a pair of 30-yard field goals in the second half by Don Cockcroft have opened up a 12-7 lead. But a long way to go in this one.
All right, we've got Feature out here on the wide side again, man-to-man with Osteen. Burgess Owens tries to help some, but I think it's a blitz.
Hardman's in, so's Willie Jones. The pass rushers pinching from the corner. They go to the power sweep, and Greg Pruitt comes across the 25-yard line on 2nd down and 9. Got about 3. Mike Pruitt led the blocking.
It was a blitz, Don, and you couldn't have a worse run called against a blitz situation. You've got everybody up at the line of scrimmage. They're stretching everything out wide. There's no holes open up. You can see they picked up 2 or 3 yards.
Ball out now to the 28-yard line. 3rd down and 5 coming up for Cleveland.
Whoops.
Free ball. They don't even know it's on the ground.
And I think the Browns got back possession of it.
Big tackle there, blocking. Doug Deacon didn't know that he had the ball right behind him, was kicking it.
If he spends any time looking around for that ball, the man on defense will find it and get to it before he does. Mike Davis sees the ball but can't get to it because he can't get through Deacon's leg to get a piece of the ball. Sipe finally comes up with it, and that was just a heads-up play to save a turnover. As I mentioned, it's not even easy passing the ball from center to quarterback. That's the 3rd bobble, all on the Cleveland side.
And that certainly illustrated how difficult it is, as the Browns do very well to get it back, but now they'll be punting, and the Raiders can come out of this with very good field position. Johnny Evans standing in, hitting the ball at his 9, gets an end-over-end punt downfield, but it takes a big, big roll. Look at this roll all the way down inside the 25-yard line. And it's not done yet. And the Browns will let it roll all the way down to the 20.
Okay, we discussed the importance of the kicking game.
61 yards.
Just the misplay of a short kick, which would have given the ball somewhere around the original line of scrimmage, the 30, 35-yard line, their own. Gets them back to their own 20. That's a 45-yard miscue. He couldn't make the play. He was a little bit too deep on the punt. Went end over end. Cleveland got a break, and they forced Oakland into a hole.
61 yards, his longest punt of the year, with 3 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter. So the Raiders come out, the ball right at their 20. When it looked like they get good field position, they now are 80 yards in the Cleveland end zone. Dave Dalby gives the snap to Plunkett, who looks and throws to Kenny King. Going outside, Clay Matthews gets him. You don't go wide in these Browns, or not very often. Their linebackers can run.
It's about the only way you can go wide, though, Don, is throw a little quick screen, throw something to get the ball in a pass play to one of your backs. Hope he can find a hole as we end the third quarter.
The score is Cleveland 12, Oakland 7. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. Nothing moving on the waterfront of Lake Erie today. But there's plenty going on in one of the famed ball yards in the National Football League, Cleveland Stadium. The chill factor 30 degrees below zero. This is Don Criqui with John Brody as we're ready now for the start of the fourth quarter. Jim Plunkett and the Raiders with a long way to go. They have second down and 11 from their 19-yard line, and Cleveland is in the lead 12-7. Hand off to Kenny King. Fighting and working hard. Kenny King comes across the 25-yard line to the 26. A group all of us are very proud of is the technical crew here from NBC. You think it's tough to play football in this.
That was Ken Harvey down there. You think he's cold, but he's sucking it up. I don't even see a bonnet on his head.
He has no bonnet on. But to stand in the cold for about 4 hours manning this highly sophisticated technical equipment has done a fantastic job. A lot of people appreciate it. Third down and 4 now for Plunkett and the Raiders. Look at that. Underhand he goes to Mark Van Eegen. He's got a first down and more. As Jim Plunkett gets innovative, shuffles the ball underhand to Mark Van Eegen, and the end result is a first down out to the 39-yard line.
I tell you, innovative is underestimating it because he was looking for survival. He's waiting for somebody to get open downfield. Van Eegen uses his head, slides off the block, puts himself in a situation where he can pick up the first down by eluding one linebacker. He does, and it's 1st and 10 Oakland. All right, look at Lyle Alzado mentioned how tough it is against Art Shell. They're trying to play games, anything to get in on the passer, to no avail.
13-yard gain on that pass play. Now on first down, Plunkett throws, and Branch comes down with the ball. And now the Raiders have crossed midfield. And in the cold of Cleveland, they're down to the 42-yard line with 13:28 to play.
Again, now he throws it underneath. Branch has been double-teamed most of the day. They've been rolling in a zone to his side. This time he eludes the first man up on the roll, gets in between the linebackers. You let Cliff Branch get in between linebackers, and he can operate. Good throw by Plunkett.
That was good for 19 yards, John. Is one of the fastest players in football, Cliff Branch, a 9-100 man out of Colorado, and he hasn't lost a step in his 9 seasons in the NFL. Gets the big gainer for the Oakland Raiders. Handoff, Kenny King, not much there. Hard hit. Robert L. Jackson, who's a fiery guy, jumping up and down. He was in to make a hit along with Lyle Alzado. There was no gain on the play. 2nd and 10.
Not only is he fiery, he's excellent against the run. Both those inside linebackers, Ambrose and Robert L. Jackson, just play that run and make it like it's a 5-man line in there. You'd assume they'd be a little concerned about the throw, get back in their drop, but they haven't.
2nd down and 10 for the Raiders. They're trailing 12-7 in the fourth quarter. Plunkett guns it long. Raymond Chester catches the ball all the way down at the 16-yard line.
That's a great catch, Don. That's the best catch we've seen all day long. Chester caught one earlier where Darden was all over the top of him, as he was this time, but he didn't have to turn his body around and catch the ball in his hands. We mentioned the receivers have become a little bit more accustomed to it, but this is just a great catch. Well thrown ball, but a great catch.
So tough in this cold weather as Raymond Chester goes up high and comes down with a 27-yard gainer. And now the Raiders are challenging for what might be a go-ahead touchdown. 1st and 10 at the Cleveland 16-yard line. To the run, to Van Eegen, not much there. The Cleveland defense braces and strikes back at Van Eegen, a power runner from Colgate, who again leads the Raiders in rushing this year with over 800 yards.
I hate to see any offense that thrives on running the ball on first down, trying to gain 4 or 5 yards. When they can't do it, continue to try. And they've been effective throwing the ball a little bit now in the second half. Those runs are almost a waste of time. Alzado's out.
Let's see if they start pitching now. Elvis Franks, a pass rusher's in. Plunkett's looking to throw. Firing. Raymond Chester, a hand on the ball at the goal line. It's going to be 3rd down and 9 for the Raiders now. This is the way the secondary sees it.
And I'll tell you what, the vulnerable area right now, because the footing is better, is in the middle of the field. Plunk's lined up. He sees Raymond Chester. Would have been a great catch. Very tough conditions. Clarence Scott's a step behind. The ball's thrown a little high. Very seldom you see it that uncongested in the middle of the field.
3rd and 9 now, so if the Raiders can't make this one go, they'll be sending out their place kicker, Chris Barr. Cleveland's leading 12-7 in the 4th quarter, 10:54 to play.
Got him jumping offside.
Plunkett sacked on a blitz by Clarence Scott, but there are penalty markers down the line of scrimmage. Browns all left early, but they might have been drawn off. Matt Millen signaling.
They might have been, but I doubt it that time. It looked to me like two of the...
On the sideline, Millen is signaling. Now he gets his information. It's against Cleveland, but he's right.
That was a blitz. They were trying to get to Plunkett quick. When you've got a blitz called on a day like this, you better get to the quarterback quick.
Ben Wright, the referee.
Defense offside.
The whole defense. So the Raiders are beneficiaries of that penalty. Instead of Plunkett getting sacked for a big loss, it's now 3rd down and about 3.
Tom Flores down there looks like it's just another day at the plant for him, but I think a lot's going on inside.
I'm sure he's churning inside, but he is a very stoic figure on the sideline, shows virtually no emotion. Jim Plunkett looking into the end zone. He throws, he makes the connection. And down is Kenny King at the 2-yard line. It's a first down for the Oakland Raiders as Ambrose knocked him down. So the Raiders now have a chance to take the lead if they can take it in. 1st and goal inside the 3.
Very well run pattern and a well thrown ball. This is a lot harder than it looks. Plunkett puts the ball right on the mark to King, who's going laterally and still finds a way to elude 2 tacklers before Ambrose gets to the ball. Watch King. When he makes his pattern, he stays under control, gets underneath the linebackers, gets the ball thrown at just the right time, gives them a chance to pick up the first down inside the 3. And we're going to take another look at that. You see Clay Matthews just missed him. Those are important misses.
These are tough yards, though. Here's Van Egan putting his head down close to the goal line. The clock runs inside 10 minutes to play now. 9:55 left to go. Cleveland leading by 5 points, but the Oakland Raiders almost down to the Cleveland goal line.
Just about on the 1-yard line down. That's a big play on first down if you pick up 2 yards. They seem to be having a little more success to the right side where Mickey Marvin and Henry Lawrence are playing. They've at times created pretty good movement. I think they'll go there again.
Van Egan. No signal. He didn't get there. The Browns hold again. Their defensive line stops the run again, and now it'll be 3rd down and goal. Coach Flores.
Don, again, you get the feeling. Now watch the offensive line surge. You'll see very little of it. It comes to a standstill. You're just trying to find any crack you can. They went over Marvin and Lawrence again with Dalby helping. Everybody got knocked up or knocked down. They settled on the 6-inch line.
And now Jim Plunkett wants some counsel from the sideline. As we have 3rd down coming up, the nose of the ball almost at the goal line. Now 4th quarter, 9:26 to play in the game. And the Oakland Raiders trailing by 5 points. John Brody.
Don, you know when they went over on the sideline, they called a timeout to make a decision. Are they going in 2 downs or are they going to try for a field goal? They're going in 2. I don't see any way they'd try.
Plunkett might call his own number. Van Egan makes no doubt about it. Mark Van Egan crashes into the end zone, and the Oakland Raiders take the lead. The Raiders take the lead 13-12 with 9:22 left to play. Van Egan with 2 touchdown runs from a yard out.
Don, I do not know what the effect of the wind is, but I notice all the drives have been going this way. The way the Raiders are going right now, it seems to be a little bit easier to move the ball down the field. We mentioned that Cleveland was getting the best of it early in the ball game. They did not turn any of their plays, their drives into touchdowns. As a result, Oakland comes back late with a little bit of momentum. Now they've got the lead 13-12 and the right direction.
Statistician Steve Dans pointing out that one was an 80-yard drive in 12 plays. Chris Barr tries the point after. He makes it go. And so Barr with his second conversion after a second Mark Van Egan touchdown run, and the Oakland Raiders have 14 points on the board and a 2-point lead with 9:22 left to play. The Browns get the kickoff when we come back. Second time in this playoff game, the Oakland Raiders have come from behind, and now they lead the Cleveland Browns 14-12 with 9:22 left to play in the game. Chris Barr kicks a short kickoff. Fielded on the second hop by Dino Hall. He's been a great player today for Cleveland, and look at Dino Hall take it out across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Chris Barr, the kicker, finally got him. This Hall's had a big day for the Browns.
Sure, he had a big day, and I'll tell you what, the kick looked as if they might get lucky. It depends on the bounce, but look at the kickoff team in the center of the field. Generally, they're selling out, they're going all out, trying to create any sort of action they can to let their pals recover for them. Now they're backing off at the 30-yard line, trying to keep from allowing any hole to develop. However, it does. They can't get their footing. Hall finds a hole, almost breaks it for even farther.
24-yard return of that kickoff by Dino Hall. The Browns know how to come back, though. They've come back all year. They lost their first 2, 3 of their first 5. Then they ran off a 9-win-2 mark the rest of the regular season to win the AFC Central. Now they have to come back again. Sipe throws long. Pruitt cruising over near the ball, but it's out of bounds. Ryan Sipe went down. Matt Millen came on a blitz.
They're going to try to blitz him a little bit more because playing that man-to-man defense, you don't help yourself by dropping your linebackers into the pattern when you're leaving a one-on-one situation out at the corner. So they're going to try and get to Sipe any way they can. Very difficult with the down lineman getting to the quarterback because of the footing. But if you can fool somebody and break a linebacker clean, you can disturb his pattern.
That was what they were concerned about, giving Sipe enough time because the bump and run takes a little while for the receivers to free themselves. Sipe looks, throws an out pattern. Greg Pruitt going for the ball. It's going to be third down.
For some reason, it seems to be a bit harder throwing the ball into the wind. Not that it always isn't a little bit harder, but the wind doesn't appear to be as big a factor if you look at the flags and the way they're blowing as it is in the production. Neither team's moved the ball very well, going from left to right.
Eight minutes and 58 seconds left to play in the game as the Cleveland Browns break the huddle. Third down and 10 coming up. Cleveland now trailing 14-12. Blitz. Sipe stands in. He throws. Rucker goes high, but it's incomplete at the 40. And Cleveland must punt the ball back to the Oakland Raiders.
You know it's going to be a blitz situation, Don. Hendricks is fiddling around at the line of scrimmage. He tries to find an opening, creates a little bit of movement, but they pick it up pretty well. Mike Pruitt stays in there, takes him out of the play, but they couldn't get anybody loose downfield.
Remember Johnny Evans' last punt with the big roll, 61 yards. His longest of the season. And Raiders have a couple of guys back now. Ira Matthews is back along with Keith Moody. High punt. Fair catch is signaled for and made back at the 27-yard line. Keith Moody gets the ball for the Raiders, and the Oakland offense comes back out. So the game clock shows 8:45 left to play. And the scoreboard shows the Oakland Raiders, if we see in this next week in San Diego, that's Lake Erie. And you can walk all the way to Buffalo right now. Handoff. Kenny King to the 31-yard line. Good gain on a 1st and 10 run. He got to the 31-yard line. Gain of almost 5. Robert L. Jackson and Lyle L. were on the tackle.
Kenny King's coming off. He's had a bad ankle done throughout the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season. It looked as if he'd be healthy starting the ball game, and it's held up throughout the first 3 quarters of play, but he limped off on that play, and that's a big minus as far as Oakland's concerned.
Remember the one game we saw him at Denver, John, when he was limping going into the game.
Yeah, well, he's been limping in a lot of them, but he's been playing well anyway.
Handoff. Arthur Whittington runs, and not too far as Robert Jackson puts him down and adds something to it.
Tell you what, the enthusiasm hasn't dwindled on either side today. There's a lot of hitting going on. Both sides giving up ground grudgingly. I don't think the ground's the place to travel today.
Kenny King, who averaged 80 yards a run as a senior at Oklahoma, and it's been a big factor in Oakland's success this year going off.
One of about 8 acquisitions, that's all.
Clock is running with 7:30 left to play in the game. 3rd down and 6. Plunkett stands in, swings it out, and Arthur Whittington has the ball. And the Raiders have a 1st down out to the 42-yard line. Charlie Hall makes the knockdown.
You just see them every time they throw that ball to their backs on little crossing patterns, against the grain patterns. They get the linebackers in their deep drop. It's a gimme. We saw him throw it to King on a 3rd down situation on their way in for a touchdown. Now we see him get their backers back, throw it to Whittington underneath. He picks up a 1st down. That's when it's tough for the defense to operate.
Tough for everybody to operate today in a frozen playing field. They're doing remarkably well. Van Egan on a 1st down carry gets nothing. Derek Jensen in the game.
In my opinion, I don't think Cleveland respects the throw on 1st down. They know that Oakland's tendency is to run the ball every time they have a 1st down, unless they throw it deep. Well, you can see Andros is jumping in that hole again, as he's done all afternoon, and it's almost impossible to blow people out of there.
Clock continues to run, 6:20 to go. 6:20 to play in the game. The Raiders holding to a 2-point lead, have it 2nd down and over 10. Lost about a half yard. Plunkett getting more time, looking to run. He's going to get hammered. And coming up to get him is Elvis Franks, a rookie from Moorhead State. Elvis Franks took aim on him and then swooped on over and made the knockdown.
All right, it looks like, hey, Jim, come off to one of your halfbacks. But if you watch closely, you'll notice both of his backs are in there trying to help him block. He's got 3 wide receivers down the field. He's trying to wait for one of them to break open. Gets plenty of time to throw, but he has no one to lay the ball off to.
Nobody at all. And now 3rd down arises, so the Browns, unless the Raiders can hit the big play, will get it back on a punt. Clock running, 5:50 to play. Oakland 14, Cleveland 12. AFC Divisional Playoff game. Now we have a timeout call.
Those timeouts could loom large down the line. Both sides. Yes, sir. Now they have 1 left.
From games, the outcome has been decided in the final minute. Once it was decided after time had actually elapsed in that game of Minnesota on that desperation pass. That was a loss, but most of them have been victories. The pitchers compared there, Brian Sutton and Jim Plunkett. Jim Plunkett has his work cut out now, as do the Raider blockers, as they have 3rd down and 19 coming up. They go to a draw, and Mark Van Eeken crashes ahead, and they stop him short of the 1st down.
That's a good call. I know you'd say, hey, we got to try and get the 1st down, but they're 3rd down and 21 or 22 or 19 yards to go. That is an effective call. It changes the field position. It allows Oakland to punt on 4th down, get Cleveland back inside their own 20, and it's been very tough moving the ball from your own 20-yard line today. Van Eeken makes a fine run, picks up about 14 yards, 4th down and 5.
So the Browns will get it back. The Cardiac Kids, they call them in Cleveland. They got songs about it. They have a song about the Cardiac Kids to the 12 Days of Christmas tune. It's sold 150,000 copies so far. Dino Hall standing back. This is Ray Guy, who really put away the Houston Oilers near the end with those booming punts time after time.
And his punts have been a big factor today.
Hits it high, but not very far. He's got to talk to Johnny Evans. Evans gets his to take a big hop.
It's like playing in an ice cone with a 150-degree compression ball. It just doesn't come off your foot.
Not very well has it come off the feet today. Next Sunday, January 11th, the San Diego Chargers meet the winner of today's game for the AFC Championship. Of course, the winner of that goes on to defend the AFC in the Super Bowl, where 7 of the last 9 champions have been American Conference teams. NBC's coverage begins at 4:30 with NFL 80. Join host Brian Campbell for an inside look at the AFC Championship game. And then the matchup at San Diego. The Chargers, the home team. The victor here will be the visiting team. And with the Raiders up 14-12, the Browns have a long way to go, and not a whole lot of time remaining.
But they got a whole lot of enthusiasm existing in the stands. They've stood up right now. They know the game is getting underway.
4:39 left to play. Brian Sipe calls his own number. Takes off. He's not. Oh, a free football. A free ball. Lester Hayes again goes up in the air about 10 feet, so that means the Raiders have the ball.
Don, you just know there's a chance of a turnover when a quarterback has to run the ball and cannot find an area to get out of bounds. 3 or 4 times in a ball game, if you get away with it, you're fortunate. Here comes Hendricks trying to put some pressure on Sipe. Henry Shepard has him patrolled. The problem was Reggie Rucker fell down just as Sipe was trying to hit him. That's the only option he had left, and that ball went popping.
Burgess Owens, who came to the Raiders for a 6th-round draft choice from the Jets, where he'd twice been a Pro Bowl player.
I don't know who hit him, but there was quite a collision in there.
Well, the Raiders get the ball on the turnover, and they have it 1st and 10 at the 24-yard line. Now they'll look to run the clock. Van Egan runs, and the clock continues to wind down. 4:18 to go and running. Robert L. Jackson made the stop.
Don, they'd like to do 2 things. They'd like to run the clock, but they'd like to get the ball in the end zone.
Oh, yes.
How many times have teams been ahead of Cleveland with 2 minutes to play or less, put Brian Sipe in a position of creating the decision of the ball game, and there's something about the last 2 minutes. Things seem to go right when they're playing in Cleveland Stadium. So if you're Oakland, you got 2 considerations.
Report from the sideline, John, and Lyle Alzado leaving the game. He is the flu and had to go out. 2nd down and 9. Here's Van Egan. Thundering runner takes it down to the 16-yard line.
That was a big 7-yard gain, my friend. He got it to within 1 yard of a 1st down. There's 3:30 left to go in the ball game. That keeps the clock running, gives them an excellent chance to pick up a 1st down on 3rd and 1.
Van Egan's been a money back. He said he might be unknown in certain places, but he knows he's not underrated in the National Football League. For 5 straight years, he's been the leading rusher for the Oakland Raiders, a number 3 draft pick back in '74 out of Colgate. The only Raider ever to rush for 1,000 yards per season for 3 consecutive years. He had some injury problems this year. Got up to 838. So in the playoffs, he's going to be a 1,000-yard rusher for the year, counting all the games. And he's the money rusher for the Oakland Raiders, as now they have it 3rd down and 1, and right back to Van Egan. Mark Van Egan takes it into the middle and gets it down to the 14-yard line.
Boy, it's very close to a 1st down. Just depends on the spot.
2:50 to play. Raiders think they have the 1st down.
This is when 1st downs become all important, and I don't think they got it. Looks like they spotted the ball about a foot short. Now it's decision time, because if they didn't get it, do you go for a field goal, take the chance on it being blocked, but get yourself over 3-point lead? They're about 6 inches short.
Of course, the Browns could still win it with a field goal. They're down by 2 points.
Short yardage situation. The Raiders are going for it, but look at Dick Ambrose. He knows where the ball's going. It's the inches that make the differences in the big games. Ambrose has stuffed the middle all day long. 4th and an inch.
And the clock running. 2:39. 2:38 left to go. Oakland 14. Cleveland 12. 3 tight ends are in. Derek Jensen in motion. They go to Van Egan.
He didn't get it.
I don't think he got it. The Cleveland Browns come up. Making the strike was Robert L. Jackson and Dick Ambrose.
The lineman cleared out the lineman, and the linebackers took charge.
The Browns offense has come out. They're quite sure that Oakland didn't get there, but the ball has to be spotted, and then we have to check.
Well, if they spot this one over the 1st down marker, they have made an unjust decision, because those linebackers are on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Ambrose again, yeah. Robert L. Jackson.
No way he got there.
It's very close by the spot. But no, that's correct.
All right, they start up in Cleveland.
I wouldn't feel too good if I was an Oakland Raider right now.
They are ready for another Cleveland Brown finish. Fasten all seatbelts. Here we go. Down the stretch. The Cleveland Browns with 2:20 to play. Brian Sipe takes a look. Throws it downfield. Incomplete. Came in on the one hop. It'll be 2nd down and 10. He was going to Reggie Rucker. And the game clock is down to 2:17.
We've mentioned what a difficult job both cornerbacks have had all day long. Dwayne Osteen and Lester Hayes. They've been put in one-on-one situations all day. Go along with Mike Davis. Now they're in a 5-back defense, but these fellas have had to play those wide receivers for Cleveland man-to-man all day long. Sipes had plenty of time to throw. Whatever way it goes, it's been a heck of a performance on their part.
A throw down the field. The ball is caught by Ozzie Newsome, and he almost broke it. Ozzie Newsome gets out to the 44-yard line. And on 2nd and 10, the Cleveland Browns get the big gainer. And the clock winds down to 2 minutes.
Don, anybody can fall down in conditions like this, but watch Sipe hang in there. You talk about great quarterbacks. He got absolutely level, but still had an ability to get the ball off down the field to Ozzie Newsome. We mentioned one-on-one coverage. Otis McKinney falls down, but watch this play. To get a hold of Ozzie Newsome, he saved the touchdown. That would have put Cleveland on top. Instead, they've got good field position, but they're 2 points down.
High interest rates keep America from buying the fuel-efficient cars it needs. It's time to do something about it. Starting now, when you buy a new U.S.-built 81 Chrysler, Plymouth, or Dodge passenger car on credit, you can deduct 7% from the sticker price, including options.
30 below zero in Cleveland, Ohio, but the heat's on now. 2 minutes left to play, and the Cleveland Browns on a 29-yard pass play have the ball out to the 43-yard line. John, what about the strategy of Oakland?
Okay, you can say, why didn't they go for the field goal? They were not automatic. They've made about less than 40% of those tries. They know if they can keep the ball, they can then run out the clock. If not, they have to kick off. Field position would have been good, and Cleveland still has to score. They had to move it just as far to kick a field goal as they would have had to make a touchdown.
Sipe lets it go long and overthrows Greg Pruitt.
You know, so often, Don, you get into strategy situations and you don't take the field conditions into effect. It would have been a very safe choice for Flores to say, okay, kick the field goal, and then we're taking the safe way out. We can grab ourselves a 5-point lead, which wasn't automatic. But if we can make 1 inch, we can gain control of the ball, run the clock down, and then we'll put the icing on the cake. I'd say it would have been easier to pick up an inch than kick a field goal in that situation, so I've got to agree with it no matter which way it comes out.
1:54 left to play. 1:54 left to go. The Cleveland Browns come out. 2nd down and 10 at their 43. And they trail 14-12. Sipe hemmed in, grabbed by Big Bear John Matuzak. They blew it dead at the 45, so it's going to be 3rd down and about 9 now.
I would expect them to call a timeout. They've got 3 remaining. That's 2 of them.
They do. 1:48 left to play, and the Cleveland Browns signal for and are allotted a timeout.
You know, Don, so many times the team will ask, and I've mentioned that Oakland has been playing bump and run, man-to-man defense all afternoon. It's the personality of Oakland to do that. Lester Hayes is one of the few fellas that can nullify a receiver in a bump and run and still be quick enough to catch up with the ball after it's thrown. And for them to go in a zone at this point would be totally against their personality and make it very tough. They're still keeping a free safety back there. They figure that's the way to operate.
They didn't take a timeout. 1:24 left to go. 3rd down and 10. Sipe throws. Incomplete. But there's a penalty marker down. And it'll be a 1st down for the Cleveland Browns at the 44-yard line. Reggie Rucker was interfered with.
You can see the 2 officials saw the play simultaneously. One of them thought it was a penalty. One of them didn't. The flag was thrown. He had a perfect angle on the play. Looked to me as if Osteen got away with a little something. Those fellas are watching close.
Game clock, as you see, down to 1:19 left to play. The season ends for either the Cleveland Browns or the Oakland Raiders.
Illegal contact, number 35, at 5 yards and a 1st down.
He bumped. Oh, Dwayne Osteen bumped and ran a little bit farther downfield, and you're allowed to.
What he did is he waited on him down. He waited on him down about the 10-12 yard line. Was going to jam his route and made contact, and that was the call. It was not interference. Contact down there at 10 yards.
But the Browns would have come up with 4th and 10 had that penalty not come down. Now they have it 1st and 10 at their 49-yard line. 1:19 to go. 14-12 Oakland.
Monty Jackson in the ball game for the first time.
Sipe stands in, throws. Greg Pruitt caught the ball inside the 30. Greg Pruitt, who's had an injury-troubled year, the great back from Oklahoma, goes down the field and goes up in the air and comes down with the ball at the 28.
They're picking the vulnerable area. They've got Osteen in the middle of the field playing man-to-man on a back. Sipe is not going to let that go untried. Osteen's had a lot of success. He's lost a few throughout the afternoon. But you can see he and Mike Davis are having all the trouble they can have inside, underneath. They're going to try to go to Ozzie Newsome or their back.
Greg Pruitt's caught 5 balls today for 37 yards. That was the biggest one, as the Browns now have the ball at the 28-yard line with 1:12 left to go. Cleveland trailing by 2. Sipe looks at a blitz, lofts the ball up. Ozzie Newsome catches the ball, but he's ruled out of bounds at the 20-yard line. And the game clock is down to 1:06 to play. And something.
It is. It's almost expected. When you see the Browns with the ball at home with 2 minutes to play, this game is just getting underway. 2 points down. Field goal is not a certainty if you get it within the 10-yard line. You can recall they missed an extra point. They've missed 2 field goals from close range going the exact same way they're going now. If they have a chance, they're going to try to get it in the end zone.
2nd down and 10 coming up for the Cleveland Browns. Rucker and Dave Logan deployed wide to the right. Newsome is split out to the left at the top of your screen on 2nd down and 10. A draw play to Mike Pruitt. He's inside the 20-yard line. He's down inside the 15-yard line. He's down to the 9-yard line, the 14-yard line. And he has a 1st down for Cleveland. Big call and a big result.
They call timeout. They've still got 2 left, though. 56 seconds left to play. What do? You run the ball in the line and think Cockriff can go down the field, kick it from 30 yards. They've got 2 timeouts left, but really, Don, in my opinion, they better try and score it. Sipe will throw it in the cheap seats if anybody's covered, but I think it's easier to complete a pass than it would be to convert a field goal.
Short field goal attempts are no good deal today in this cold. Don Cockcroft, 2 of 4 today.
If you're an offensive quarterback, I will not try Lester Hayes, though.
They've done that a couple times and come up empty, and Lester's come up with the ball twice. It was a no-show.
That's support. It's been a great football game, no matter how it turns out, Don, under the most inclement conditions I've ever seen.
There's been a lot of great plays in very adverse conditions. That's true. Now it's 1st and 10 for Cleveland. Back to the run. This time Oakland's looking for it. Brian Sipe signals for and gets a timeout with 49 seconds to play. Mike Pruitt carried the ball.
I think the last time they called timeout, they came over, discussed it, said, let's see if we can break a draw on 1st down. He's going over to the sideline, in my opinion, to try and get that ball thrown upstairs.
That end of the field has had sunshine on it most of the day. There's a little less frost on it than the other end, the closed end, where there's a lot of ice down there.
Well, we've seen 1 ball mishandled for a fake field goal. We've seen 2 balls missed on field goals. We've seen an extra point hit the uprights, and I haven't seen anything go through down there.
49 seconds left to play in the game. The Browns, Brian Sipe, Sam Ratigliano. What a combination they've been. Sipe was on the bench when Ratigliano came here. Ratigliano waiting a long time to get here.
Here the discussion took place. Sam's elected to get as much as he can on the ground, I believe.
Right up the middle. 49 seconds to go.
Wrong.
Into the end zone. Was it intercepted?
I think Oakland
intercepted the ball.
Michael Davis is the man that picked it off. That's just a great play at a very critical time. It even looked like Newsome might have come up with it. The Raiders didn't believe it for about 5 or 10 seconds. It one-handed stab. He was one-on-one with Ozzie Newsome. How he came up with that ball is a miracle.
41 seconds left in the Raiders intercept. And they might have iced this one, no pun intended.
Newsome, look, he thinks the ball's going to get to him. Okay, here's Davis. All day long, he's been one-on-one with a free safety, but so what? You're not going to get that much help because he can't get started. Newsome's trying to run his pattern. Davis cuts in front of him, picks the ball off. That's just a fantastic interception.
It really was. Mike Davis intercepts. Lester Hayes had 2 earlier. And 41 seconds are now separating the Oakland Raiders from the AFC Championship game next Sunday at San Diego. 37 seconds left, 36. Browns call a timeout. 36 seconds left to play. NFL report is next. We'll be talking to some of those Oakland Raiders if they prevail in this game, and right now the odds are greatly in their favor after the brilliant interception in the end zone by Mike Davis, strong safety in his 3rd year out of Colorado.
I'll say they're in their favor. All the quarterback has to do right now is fall down on one knee. The Browns have 2 timeouts left. That is not enough to stop the clock from running off 36 seconds. And I'm sure that Sam Ratigliano is going to be in a position of catching a lot of flack because he didn't go for the safe decision, which would have been to try and put Cockcroft on the spot to kick a field goal. But in retrospect, I have to agree with him. Brian Sipe, I think, had as good a chance to throw a touchdown pass as he did for Cockcroft to kick a field goal. Now, that's up for anybody's conjecture, and it's easy to have 20/20 vision after the fact. But in fact, if he had his decision to do it over again, considering the outcome, obviously he'd have a go at the field goal, but he doesn't. That's what put head coaches on the spot. He's been right an awful lot of the time. This time it didn't work out that way.
Well, the Browns are here because of Brian Sipe and the year he's had, but now the Oakland Raiders coming up, as the Oakland Raiders have done so many times over the years. In the big games, they're so tough to beat. The winningest consecutive years franchise in the history of the league. 16 straight winning seasons at Oakland. And now the wild card Raiders, as the clock winds down inside 20 seconds, are ready to head to San Diego in the AFC Championship game against their arch rivals from the AFC West, the San Diego Chargers. And you'll see that next Sunday, beginning at 4:30 here on NBC. What a victory for the Oakland Raiders, coming from behind twice in this game. And they win it as the clock goes down and out.
And let me make one comment, Don. The Cleveland Browns were knocked out of the playoffs the same way they got there. In the last couple minutes, Brian Sipe brought them back, got points on the board, brought them in.